it's Leo, and it's time to talk about episode 35 from Delicious Party PreCure, which was amazing. It was Kokone's episode. It's probably the last Kokone episode, and what a great episode it was. I am still very emotional. I just watched it, and I cried a little bit. It felt very special to me. Kokone is my favorite from this season, and this episode really solidified her position as my favorite. I just love her character. She is so well written. She makes so much sense, and I just love her. I really love Kokone, and this episode just proved it. I feel like for this episode to have worked, Kokone's character had to undergo through a lot of episodes, and I'm very glad that in Delicious Party, at least Kokone and Dan got lots of character episodes, and I feel like Kokone was when the writing was really able to shine through. This episode just proved it. It worked so well because Kokone was just so well written through and through. For this episode to have worked, everything that came before it had to work as well. Because we have a dilemma. Kokone can move away with her parents and leave Oishina town. If we look at Kokone from episode 4, we met someone who always was by herself. She liked being by herself. She was never really able to make friends. She overthought every social situation. And now she is in a place that she is comfortable with the people she likes. And it was not only that she was always having a hard time around new people. No, she also had a hard time with her parents. She was never really able to share her feelings with her parents either. And she learned that throughout the season. So now she has to make a choice. Should I stay in Oishina town with the friends I love so much, in the place that I fought so hard to be in? Or should I move with my parents? The ones that I also fought so hard to have a good relationship with. And now everything is working. Everything's working fine with my friends, and everything is working fine with my parents. What should I do? And there was a scene in this episode that I really loved that showed Kokone at school and hanging out with lots of different groups of people, and also hanging out with the Delicious Party group, eating ice cream at the end of the scene. And then the scene shifted, and Kokone was all by herself in her house. And I loved that shifting tone, because Kokone being by herself isn't something new to her. But Kokone being around lots of people is something that for her is new, but it's good. It's something that she enjoys. It's something that she loves sharing. She loves sharing things with people. And being by herself now isn't really a problem. But being by herself in the moment that she has to make such a tough choice is tough. It's hard because she doesn't know what to do. And there is one thing that is important to take into consideration. If she moves away with her parents, she can stay in touch with the girls, her friends. But it's not the same thing if she stays and moves away and her parents move away, because, when you have the family bond, you're going to be able to keep on having that family bond forever. Friends, not always. And even if you love your friends, sometimes you're not going to be able to have time to give to that relationship. So when you get older, you start understanding those kind of things. But I won't discuss it now. I think it's better for me to discuss it when we discuss the last part of the episode. So right at the start, it's very nice that they chose a character like Princess Maida. We already know her, and we have some sort of connection to her because she looks like Yui a lot, and we already like Princess Maida as a character. So they chose her, who lives in another place, who lives in an island, and we already know that she was working hard for her island, so everything makes sense. And calling Kokone's parents to live there and to help her build that from the ground up also makes a lot of sense, because both of Kokone's parents, they travel the world, they are never home because they are taking part in culinary. Everything was so well done. It's actually surprising to have an episode with everything super well thought and well crafted. And so when Kokone is brought with that idea and that choice that she has to make, she has a very tough time. The girls obviously also have a tough time. Yui and Adan expressing that in a bigger way. Amane expressing that in her own way as well. Even Mari is having a hard time. And Mari already, eased Kokone's mind a little bit by saying, if you leave, we're still gonna fight as PreCures. Think about yourself first. Don't think about your role as a PreCure. Think about Kokone first. So that is a very great thing for a mentor to say, for someone older like Mari to say. I absolutely loved that. And then Kokone starts wondering what she should do. And she is never really able to talk to anybody. She is just having this hard time, but she's always struggling. And her parents notice it, but they don't say anything. She's always having, because this is Kokone, this is her. And Todoroki, her butler, takes her to a special place, and in that place she's able to connect and reconnect with her own feelings. And she is finally able to admit to herself that she has no idea what she is going to do. This is so life, not knowing what path you should take and what choice you should make. And her being able to get that realization, and she started crying when she didn't really know. And everything about that scene, even thinking about it, makes me want to cry, because everything about that scene was so perfect. The animation looked like a PreCure movie. Honestly, we don't need crazy animation in fights always, but when we have them in scenes like these that are all about the characters and their feelings, wow, it was so good. And there was a character that was overlooking everything that was going on in this episode and with Kokone, who was Pum Pum. And there was one thing that Pum Pum noticed that Kokone was not able to notice. Kokone was always thinking about her choice, and she was suffering because of the choice that she had to make. Pum Pum, on the other hand, was paying attention to other things, and she was mostly paying attention as to how other people were treating Kokone. And she noticed one thing. So Kokone, being able to connect and reconnect with her own feelings, was able to share that she didn't know what to do. And Pum Pum did not think of bringing an answer to Kokone. No, she did not come with an answer. She just made an observation, which was, Kokone, everyone is by your side. And I love this because it just shows that Pum Pum was paying attention to everybody around Kokone. Everybody was ready to support her, no matter her decision. And this is nice because it connects to everything that Kokone has been building since episode 3 of Delicious Party. She has a hard time connecting to people, but she fights for those connections because she loves having friends and having people she cares about and also care about her. That's important to Kokone. And that is something that for her is fundamental. And Pum Pum just brought it to her because no matter her choice, she is ready to be supported by everybody who loves her. And with that, she was able to have an honest conversation with her parents. But I also loved that her parents were also very attentive of what she was thinking. They were super careful in the way they approached her. They were baking ball donuts, which is something she loves, and which is something that also connected her to them, reconnected her to them. And with that, they were able to show that they were ready to listen to whatever she had to say. And obviously her choice was not to move away, was to stay in Oishina town. And with that, we had the fighting scene. And honestly, I have nothing good to say about the fighting scene of this episode. It was really bad, and it's not something new. I feel like they were trying to create a situation in which the girls didn't necessarily need Kokone, but the situation was for Curious Spicy to be needed there. And honestly, it doesn't really work for PreCure because they're all strong. And in the way that they were trapped inside those grape balls, it doesn't make sense because they're super strong nonetheless. And they didn't even try to break it. I mean, Cure Precious was the only one who tried to do something. Why? And she broke just a little piece of it. And then when Spicy arrived, her shield wasn't really working very well. And girl, what really broke and freed them was the fact that they were able to connect and reconnect because of their friendship. And Kokone, or Curious Spicy, shared that she wanted to be with them because she loves her friends. And she wants to be with them in the good and in the bad. It felt like a wedding. It felt like wedding vows to me, that scene. But there was a nice thing about that. When everything was flying away, we could see Secretoru with the messy hair and Mari with the messy hair after the battle was over as well. So that was great. And I'm really trying to hold back because I just remembered the last scene of the episode and I loved it because in the last scene we could see Kokone with her dad and her mom was in Iski Island. So we could already see the shift. They're gonna live there and Kokone is gonna stay in Oishina town. She has Todoroki, so it's fine. But they were connected nonetheless. They were in a video call. And they were connected nonetheless because at the end, when they were eating the pita sandwich, Kokone and her dad were there. Her mother was far away. But in the last shot of the episode, everybody was together. The three of them were together in the table because in feelings, they were connected. And this is something that Kokone's mom said. In feelings, we're all connected nonetheless. And I just loved that moment so much. What a beautiful moment. And as I said, it only worked because they built Kokone so well for this to have worked and for this to have made me so emotional. What an episode. This episode also brought us a little bit more info on Ginger, which is Ginger came to Earth and Ginger stayed in Oishina town for a little bit. And when the recipe bond was stolen for the first time from Cook Kingdom, Ginger came to Earth to find it and to retrieve it. That is why Cinnamon was banned from Cook Kingdom because they thought that he was the one who stole it. It doesn't seem that he was the one. But when Ginger came to Earth, they retrieved the recipe bond, but they didn't really bring the recipe bond back to Cook Kingdom very quickly. They stayed on Earth for a while. And now Mari really wants to know more and why Ginger stayed here on Earth. We also have another interesting thing going on in the villain side. Secretoru is working on something together with the Spiritoru robots, and we don't know what it is, but it seems to be Goda's plan. So I have no idea what that is, but that is definitely gonna lead us into the final battle of the season. And I am very, very curious. Anyways, babies, this was my view on this amazing episode from Delicious Party PreCure. Kokone, you are the best. I love you. Did you like it as much as I did? Did you love it as much as I did? Please leave a comment with your opinions in the comment box below and let's keep talking. Anyways, just want to take this little time to thank the members of the Magical Cinnamon channel. If you are a member, thank you very, very much for your support. If you've watched up to now, thank you so much as well. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye bye.